Kyrie, can you talk about what Phil Handy has done to help your game and also the speech he gave after game two, I'm sorry.
Man, Coach Handy's done an unbelievable job. Knowing the extent of our, I don't think many people know the extent of our relationship, but I know you talked to him, Mark. So just in terms of meeting me as a 21-year-old, 22-year-old, coming in and being with Kobe and understanding his relationship with him, and he's kind of the one that introduced the relationship, the mentorship that I have with Kobe now, which is great. And in terms of working out late nights and doing whatever it takes to win, learning how to lead, just understanding the nuances of the game and what it takes to be a great player in this league. He's really kind of put down the foundation steps. He's kind of like my dad in terms of put in basketball when I'm away from, my family. So he's just been really influential in my life. And his speech he gave after game two just really hit home for all of us. It was a man-to-man speech that needed to be said, that we all understood in order to kind of will ourselves to understand that we still have a chance in this series. Golden State took care of home court, but that speech really hit home for all of us. And I mean, he's just awesome in terms of what he brings to this team for guy 1 all the way down to 15, working guys out, making sure that guys are professionals every single day.
Kobe dinner.
What about it?
Like what you got from that dinner with Kobe?
It was a great dinner. It was a great dinner, Mark. I think me and you could talk about that, a little bit later. But yeah, no, it was a great dinner. It was a great dinner.
All right.
All the way in the back, in the center.
Yeah, Dan Wetzel, Yahoo Sports. Throughout this playoffs, not just with the Cavs, but all the teams, it's been an inordinate amount of lopsided games. Win 30, lose 30, back and forth. Do you have any idea, any theory on why it seems to be happening this year?
No, not really. A lot of great teams, a lot of great plays being made, and sometimes it can, I think that the amount of runs that happen through the course of the game have they've become a lot bigger than usual, in terms of from my standpoint. But it could be, rather than an 8-0 run and someone calling a timeout, it can go from like 8 to 17 in a matter of minutes, and that could be the game right there. So I find out that, we were in a big hole in Golden State, and then we come back home, and then they're in a big hole in the beginning of the first quarter. So it could be a tale of both, where it could be a really close game or it can be a lopsided game. I'm not sure why so many, but I'd rather be on the winning side of those.
Steve, right here on the right.
Kyrie, hi, Steve Eschberner, NBA.com. I've been asking the other guys that have been up there this, so I might as well ask you. You had signed an extension to stay with the Cavaliers before LeBron made his decision to come back here. I'm curious, had he not come back, where do you think this team would be? Where do you think you would be individually?
I don't know. To be honest, don't take this the wrong way. I really don't care. Because this is everything that I've dreamed of. So whatever that alternate journey was, I don't even want to think about where that would be. But I'm glad that we have the management, we have the ownership that believe in our GM, and he put together a great team that has done great things over his last year and a half. And our work still isn't finished, but I'm happy about where I am right now.
What sort of conscious adjustments have you made in how you play or how you lead with LeBron around?
It's been a learning experience. It's been a constant adjustment every single day, being around a great player like that. But I've enjoyed every single moment, the good, the bad, the ups and downs. Everything necessarily won't be perfect, which I had to understand. And as a maturing young player, young man, I had to really just remove myself emotionally and just realize that the journey isn't going to be easy in order to be a champion in this league, a great player, anything And when you have the chance to learn from someone like that, and you have a group of guys in our locker room like we do with veteran leadership, it makes my job a lot easier and a lot more fun to be a part of. So I'm happy about the team that we're part of and the teams that I've been part of. But being around him every single day has been great for my career.
Tim on this side.
Kyrie, Tim Reynolds of the Associated Press. Even though you're still down, obviously, in the series, how much confidence is your locker room gleaning from the job that you guys have, maybe you personally and collectively, have done on Steph defensively?
It's just taking a lot of team awareness, understanding certain spots on the floor, but the impact that Clay and Steph can have on the game, we want to limit that, and we also want to limit that second unit coming in as well. They do a great job. I mean, that's where they're champions. It's full team effort, and we know that it takes guy 1 all the way to 15 in order to beat those guys. So I think that we have a better understanding of that, and protecting home court is where we are right now, and we understand that.
Al, over here.
Al Sarasovic, San Francisco Chronicle. I was also going to ask about Stephen Curry. It seems like he's having trouble getting the separation he needs to get that shot off offensively. What are you sensing from him? You've played against him plenty, and you know, what are you seeing from him in terms of his lateral quickness? Does he seem to be on top of his game to you?
I think that he's picking and choosing his spots, but I think we've all seen it. I think even yesterday there was still moments in the game where he's still scoring in bunches, and he has that ability. So me as a defender, I just try to crowd his airspace, and I know my teammates are well aware when he's moving around the floor, but it's my job as the point guard to really just stay on his body as much as possible and make him feel uncomfortable. And that's what I've just tried to do.
Emilio and Dave, last 2 questions.
Kyrie, Emilio Perez, Top Deportes. Without being unrespectfully, I just want to know your opinion on why did you guys were so good last night without Kevin on court? And if it was up to you for Game 4, will you start him or will you come him from the bench?
That's not my job. It's Coach Lou's job. If it were up to me, I would have liked Kevin to play in Game 3.
And for the question that why you guys were so good without him last night, what did you do different to perform the way you performed, even without him in the lineup, in your own words?
You know, especially when a great player like that isn't playing, we understand that guys need to step in and play a huge role and play at a higher level. And I think RJ understood that. When he came into the game, he knew his spots. He knew where he had to be. You know, and you necessarily can't replace Kev, but RJ just came in and gave us a great lift, as well as our guys off the bench. So, you know, hopefully we can continue that in Game 4.
Dave, last one on the left.
Dave McMenamin, ESPN. Kyrie, staying on Kevin, you had that moment with Dellavedova last year in Game 6 in Chicago where you guys hugged, and it was like Delly saying, "I'm going to take care of you." Ty told us before Game 3, you and LeBron both went up to Kevin and were like, you know, "We got you." What was that moment like, and how do you think it may have helped Kevin's spirits?
Well, I know he definitely wanted to play, for sure. You know, looking in his eyes, you know, knowing his heart, being at the finals is what we've both dreamt of, and knowing the magnitude of the game and knowing the challenges that we faced going into Game 3. We needed a full team effort, and he was there in spirit, and we just knew that we had to take care of business for him, and we did that. And going out and doing what we did in Game 3 was definitely a valiant effort for him, and we dedicated that game to him. So,
Thank you, Kyrie.